As Kahala Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakaha Kwadash. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and bishops of men, or bishops of great millstone, all right, where I have learned this truth, and the men where I am still learning this truth from, okay? And also shalom to the remnant of Israel, okay? Um, we're going to do another intro video here. And even now in speaking, well, at the time of the recording of this video, I don't know what the topic is going to be that we go into, what this is an intro for, all right? So Lord willing, by the end of it, or by the beginning of the next video, we will have a topic, all right? But this is going to be another intro video, which means that we are going to touch on points that need to be taken. I mean, the whole scriptures need to be taken heed to, all right? But since this is a surface level channel, all right, and that is a point that I do want to touch on, is that this is just surface things. There are more things in these scriptures that men can even understand, all right? I mean, there's more down here than men can even understand, all right? These scriptures are just a part of the entire truth. And what I mean by that is there's things that we don't know. There are things that we do know, all right? For instance, we know that there's a sun, all right? I mean, in the sky, right? But we don't know the workings of it, all right? But we do have the knowledge of what is in these scriptures, okay? The spirit, the Rakaha Kwadash, which is, Kwadash is holy. The Rakaha is the spirit, all right? It is down here guiding us through men, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai to the truth. It is also called the spirit of truth, okay? So there are things that we do know, but there are things that we don't know. Like another example, we're going to receive new bodies, all right? What they're going to look like, we don't know. But we do know that the Lord promised us new bodies, all right? And we have faith and hope in everything in these scriptures. So we know that thing is coming, but we can't tell you the details on what they look like, all right? Those are just a couple examples of things that, are true, but we can't give you the details on, all right? And this channel is a surface level channel, meaning, all right, that I am just now starting to learn and study and read and go over these things so that I know them. This is a part of my walk, and it coincides with the remnant's walk, but we aren't going to know who the remnant is until the day of the Lord, all right? So it is important to filter yourself through these scriptures, man. Okay? Look at how the remnant, and look at how the men that the Lord was pleased with, look at how they walked. All right? Especially, first and foremost, Yahweh Shai, all right, which is whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, all right, among other names. His name is Yahweh Shai. Yah is he, and Yahweh Shai is saves or delivers, okay? And his Father, the Almighty, is Yahweh, all right? Yah, he, Hawa, to be or exist, all right? And when you speak those, and the Rakah Kodash, like we said, Kodash is holy, and Rakah is spirit, all right? But when we speak these things, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, all right? When you speak those things, what that means is Yahweh, Bahashem is in the name. So Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, all right? But when you speak those things, all right, you are speaking Hebrew, okay? The Paleo Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew, or the Lashawan Kodash, all right? We just went over what Kodash means. It's holy, okay? And Lashawan is tongue, so you're speaking the holy tongue, okay? But these things that we're going over on this channel, all right, are not my own. Like I didn't just make these things up. All right. I didn't just hear it from a man and just believe it. You have to go read. You have to go study. We're going to get into those two scriptures, but I just want to reiterate that these things are things that I'm gathering from my teachers by taking notes. All right. You grow into the spirit. All right. Baby steps, man. You have to go. You have to come into this, getting rid of the things that you have learned in this earth. All right. This is the truth. You have to come in this like a newborn. All right. Treat this thing as a. I mean, you are grown. Okay. Treat this thing as a gift, as the most precious gift, because that's what it is. All right. But you have to come in this thing as a child, meaning that you have to let go of everything you think you know and listen. All right. You have to listen. You have to read. You have to study. You have to repeat these things until the day of the Lord returns or comes. All right. But the highest office, and I'm not saying just be stagnant in reading and listening. All right. The highest office that a man on this planet, an Israelite man on this planet, can hold is a teacher of this truth outside. All right. Outside on the highways and hedges. Okay. Speaking these things. Okay. Not picking and choosing who you speak it to. Just speaking these things, and the Spirit will do what it does. All right. And also, that is prophecy. That is being subject to what the Lord told you to do. All right. That is the highest office. That is what we are growing towards. All right. There's no stagnant part of this truth. You are always growing in it, and it will always be like that until the day of the Lord. All right. So, I urge you to go to the community tab on this page. There are more well-seasoned teachers on that community tab. All right. But if you are going there from here, I can only ask you, you're going to do what you want to do. I can only ask that you go there and listen, man. Don't go there and put your 2 cents in. Go there and get more understanding. Add to what you are learning. Lord willing, you are learning from the things you are hearing on this channel. But go there and listen. Learn more. Grow in spirit, man. All right. You may be able to soak in things quicker than I, okay? Or soak up things quicker than I. Don't let your pride get high though. Or like that tree that we were talking about in what was that? Man, what was that? That reading that we did. Hold on a second. And we just did that yesterday. And it escapes me already. Hold on a second. And if you're listening to this, you probably know the answer before. I could guess, but I don't want to guess. All right, hold on. Give me a second, man. Okay. Don't let your pride get up too high. Or, there it is. Yeah, you'll be likened to that tree in Ezekiel 31. Okay. All right. So that tree represents Esau, Edom. Okay. And the branches represents his philosophies. Okay. And how he got everyone drunk and living under his philosophies, man. All right. Philosophies, plural, super plural. Okay. His enchantments. All right. So even if you do soak up this thing, do not or pray, all right? Pray that your pride doesn't get lifted up, okay? And even if you walk this path, okay, it's important that you walk this path and until you know that you are a part of the remnant, which is going to be, like I said, on the day of the Lord, all right? That's the only time you're going to be able to proclaim 100% that you are part of the remnant, okay? Because Judas is a very good bad example. All right, he was one of the 12, man. Until he wasn't, he was one of the 12 until he wasn't, man. So do you think that he didn't know um, the scriptures or the Lord? All right, and then what happened? Okay, so take that as an example. Okay, you have to always stay humble until the Lord is putting that crown on you, and even then, because you aren't the top of the ladder, man. You are under Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai is under the Almighty. All right. So, uh, what else? Okay, now let's go to the reading and the studying. All right, let's go to Revelation 1, verse 3. All right, like it is. You have to filter yourself through these scriptures. Okay, you have to get a clue who you are. All right, because you can end up getting filtered out right at the end. Despite all these clues that pointed to one way, you left out a key clue that condemned your ass. All right. Okay. So, which points to why doctrine is important, man. So Esau likes to lump people in groups, whether it be by color, uh, nationality, which nationality is an important group that stands to this day. All right, Lord made us in nations, okay, but Esau likes to lump us into color groups, okay. Don't let that make you think a certain thing. All right, you can't think that you are melanated, so that means that you are an Israelite. You can't think that you look like a white person, so that makes you Esau. All right, you have to filter yourself through these scriptures, and the Spirit will bear witness to who you are, and then the Lord will confirm who you are on the day He comes back. All right, but so yeah, that's a distraction. There's a lot of distractions down here, which ultimately act as a filtering process for this thing. All right, so even if you act like or try to fool yourself that you are one of the remnant, the Lord is going to filter you out one way or another. Okay? And the more you fight against this thing, all right, come against this thing, if you are one of the remnant, sooner or later, you're going to turn and be all right. Okay? That doesn't mean I'm not giving anybody the green light to go ahead and keep acting the fool until you come into this thing. I'm just giving a human, speaking as a man, giving an example. All right? That's all I'm doing. But you have to filter yourself through this thing. All right, so one of the things that the remnant would be doing and know that it's true and faithful is this. This is Revelation 1 and 3. It reads, "Blessed is he that readeth." That's pretty straightforward, at least to me, but it might not be to everyone. So reading is a part of this, man. You don't just go to church and listen to a man give you his interpretation and leave it at that. All right, that's what has a lot of people fucked now. That's what had me fucked. Look, a lot of people came into this, and before that, we didn't know. So we were in the world. All right, so reading was a part of this, okay? We started seeing things in here that weren't being touched on in the scriptures or explained in the scriptures, all right? And then now, since the Spirit of truth is here, the Rakaha Quadash, the Holy Spirit, all right, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, we are getting understanding. This is a time to be searching for the Lord, man. All right? So again, Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. Written therein where? Written therein these scriptures. These scriptures. All right? This Bible. Okay? I mentioned this on another video. I don't know what video. But have you ever noticed that people who say they believe in the Bible don't open it up? The ones who say they believe in the Bible, I'm saying for the most part, these worldly people, they say they believe in the Bible and the God of the Bible, right? Which Yahweh's name is not God. God is a trait and a title, but his name is Yahweh, right? But people say they believe in the God of the Bible. Okay, they believe in the scriptures, but they don't open the Bible. All right, they'd rather have some man tell them so that they don't have to go look. That's a part of this walk, though. Going to go read and look and search, all right? Then, on the other side, you have people who say they don't believe in the Bible that are always in the book. Have you noticed that? All these other religions focus on the Bible, man. All right? So why is that? All right, it needs to be reversed. The people who say they believe need to get in there, or really do open the Bible and read, all right? They don't just speak it, they walk it and talk it, all right? So they are in the Bible, okay? Reading and hearing. Now don't just brush that word off and think it's something simple. Understand what that means, man. They are listening, actually hearing. This thing is getting on the inside of them, okay? And keeping these things, right? We hear this thing, we hear the truth. And we keep reading and studying, and we keep what we learn, man. We don't just throw it away when it suits us, which is what the world does. All right. And the end of that, I'm gonna read the whole verse again. So blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. And I think I think we just touched on maybe what the next topic is going to be. I don't know though. The next topic is going to be what the Lord wills it to be, because the Lord controls all things. There is no free will. That's another false. People just, I don't know. People talk and don't even know what they're saying. But that is true also. People talk and don't know what they're saying, unless they are of the remnant. All right, but there's no such thing as free will. All right. So, all right, the time is at hand. The time for what? The time for these prophecies to come to pass. The time for all this book to be understood. All right. The time is at hand, man. Now, let's go to 2 Timothy 2 and 15. All right, this is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. It reads, study to show thyself approved. If everything was so clear, all right, we have this thing written in English. Why do we have to study? It speaks everything so clear, right? No, that is very wrong. We have to study. Okay, we're going to go into what I mean by those English words in a minute, okay? Study to show thyself approved. Even with the English, you can go look in here. There's more in here than what you are being told. All right, go study these things, man. Find out there is work beyond the surface. Study, okay? Study these things. All right, hold on. 1, 2. Study to show thyself approved. Approved to who? Okay, if you do the work of studying and reading, who are you approved of? All right, study to show thyself approved unto God. These are the things that are good to him. All right, the law, statutes, and commandments. And 2 of these things tell you to read, study, Okay? Doing the work. Okay? Study to, this is 2 Timothy 2 and 15 still. All right? Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. We are not ashamed in doing this work and speaking these words, man. This is the truest thing on earth. Okay? This is truer to me than who I thought I was to me. Okay? These words are true. All right? Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. All right? What does that mean, man? People take these words and they can make a doctrine out of the pronunciation of a word. For instance, Israel. A lot of people built a doctrine around this not being the truth because Israel means Israel. All right? ISIS, Ra, and then I forget what the L is. Okay? That's not even how you say Israel in the original language, Hebrew. Okay? It's Yasharallah. Yah is he, Shar is prince, Allah is God. He, the prince of God or power. He, the prince of power. All right? So they took the wrong breakdown of the word Israel and made a whole doctrine out of it, man. But it's a filtering process from the Lord again. All right? He threw a bone that way, and the dogs went running. Okay? All right? But his men stayed the course. All right? And his spirit stayed the course. All right? And gathered in the men that it was supposed to gather. All right? While the others chased after that bone. Okay? So, there's two examples. Read. Blessed is he that readeth. All right? Study to show thyself approved. All right? Unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. When you read and when you study. All right? It says, blessed is he that readeth. Who's blessing you? The Lord. Study to show thyself approved unto God. And if you are approved unto God, he will open up this understanding to you. All right? If you are approved unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, all right? The Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, all right, will point you to the correct understanding or will help you understand. All right? And you have to include the men that are down here, which is another filtering process. Look, man, people have a problem. Oh, hold on. People act like they have a problem with, this is what I mean by people don't even know what they're saying. People act like they have a problem with men, all right, guiding them to the truth, guiding them now and telling them the truth. Things that you can openly go search. All right? They don't want to follow order. Okay? But guess what? I mean, hold on. Before I even get off of that part, they buck up against it so much, they talk shit. Okay? But at the same time, they're following another man. All right? For instance, they clocking in on time. They wearing their uniforms for work. All right? They're paying taxes. They're paying insurance. A lot of these things that they follow are killing them, man. Because they're following the wicked. Right? Right into that fiery pit, man. Which we touched on that on this channel also. Hell is not a place where your spirit burns forever. All right? Hell is a ditch, a grave, a state of being. All right? All right? Like people people living in hot areas can say that, damn, this feel like hell, all right? People in cold areas, and it's feel like hell, right? So that is a fable that they twisted around what was actually being said in the scriptures because they have no understanding. All right? The Lord is not working with them. Okay? You being sent to these videos, whether it be this one or if you go to the community tab and find, and I'm speaking of the men of GMS, man. There's a lot of Israelite groups out here, but like I said, doctrine. Okay, you need to stick to one group. That way, the confusion doesn't set in. All right, one group can have everything all right and tell you the wrong name. So when the Lord comes back and you call on the wrong name, you're fucked. So it's the doctrine, man. And I'm telling you now, the men of GMS, okay? When you go and look, okay, go and look. The doctrine is what separates groups, okay? Also, speaking on that, is GMS will not tell you that it is their doctrine. Yes, they are a part of the doctrine. Yes, it is their doctrine in a way, but they will always tell you that it is the Lord's doctrine, man. Because it is. Okay? It is. All right? So, you have to listen to the doctrine. All right? And once you realize that, trying to figure out how to say this. Anyway, so I'll just use myself as an example. So, since I know the doctrine, all right, since I know the men of the Lord that I listen to and follow, okay, and learn from, since I know that they are a spiritual people, since I know that they abide by the law, statutes, and commandments of these scriptures, I know that there is no way that they should be on a most violent list because they fear the Lord, man. They do what the Lord tells them. They abide by things that he says, his word, all right? Okay? So something that the Lord says is vengeance is his, man. The only thing that we are told to do is to go speak, teach, and preach his word, all right? And grow in spirit. Okay? The men that I learned from don't speak and preach to go do violence. Okay? You just don't hear that. All right? But for some reason, which we're going to go into the reason, for some reason we have found ourselves on a most violent groups list above the likes of the KKK and these really violent groups. People who actually have groups that actually have bodies. Okay? Why is that? All right? Because the wicked runs this earth and he doesn't like having a finger pointed at him. He doesn't like having these scriptures lifted up to his face. Okay? He doesn't like these scriptures having or pointing out who he is. All right? So he's using everything at his hands to come against it. Taking down videos, trying to change history. Okay? Which that's what he's done throughout time. All right? And I'm not saying he took down videos. What I'm saying is he tried to put a blockade on the truth somehow, in some way, tried to demonize it somehow, in some way. Okay? He's not going to change. He's always going to stay that way. It is up to us to point this out to you because it is so obvious. Okay? So, but to his point, to Esau's point, for example, when the truth came to me, okay? That's another thing. You don't find the truth, it finds you, man. Anyway, so it didn't feel good to me either when you filter yourself through these scriptures and you see it plain and clear that you have been walking contrary to the one who has loved you and blessed you your whole life. All right? It just doesn't feel good, man. Okay? And in that moment, when that settles in, you realize that this thing is a gift when you receive it. The Lord didn't have to keep me in this truth thus far. He could always kick me out, right? But thus far, to learn the things that I have learned, okay? I've had a lot of joyous days in my life, all right? But realizing that the Lord does everything. There is no free will. Okay. And that he controls everything. And that he allowed me to turn from acting a damn fool, acting like a damn demon, to turning this way. In that instant, I realized how much of a gift this was, man. It is one of the greatest gifts that there are more gifts coming. Okay? That is what true love is. That's a part of it. These people just walking around saying that he's all love, they have no clue. They aren't searching for him. They aren't showing any kind of love. They're telling you that his law, statutes, and commandments are dead. You don't have to live by him. So in a way, they're saying the same thing about him. Just getting close to him with their lips, and that's it. But he sees it, man. I get frustrated talking about it sometimes, but hey, uh, he sees it, and he's going to handle it, which is another reason why this thing is called a comforter. We don't have to go worry about correcting uh, or setting every single individual uh, straight. All right. What I'm saying is, like, I don't gotta go today. I ain't gotta wake up and be like, well, I gotta go up the block, and I went 5 houses up yesterday. Now I gotta make it to another 10. Okay, so I gotta make it to the 10th house. No, we don't have to do that, man. All we gotta do is speak the truth. The spirit does what it's supposed to, but we have to grow in spirit first, man. All right, and we always have to stay humble. We always got to stay humble, man, because he can take this from us at any time. And not that I want to know what people like that go through, but when you see it, it is it's it's one of the wildest things that you will see in this thing. There are many wild things that you'll see come into this that you will realize, but that is one of the wildest things. How someone can be in the spirit, okay, and then have the spirit get taken away from them, and you see that they are destroyed and mad now, right? Struck with madness is what I mean. And it's like they don't see it themselves, man. All right, the Lord did a work on them, and you recognize that, and you start praying that you should always be praying that that spirit doesn't get on you. But that makes you pray even harder when you see that stuff, man. Okay. Uh, but yeah, so we ended up on the most violent groups list, which points to who Esau is, which points to who the wicked that runs this world is. All right. They cannot escape themselves. No matter where they go, there they are. All right. They can't escape. So you have to be humble, because you don't know what end the Lord is got for you. Okay. I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. Another thing on this channel is these are most of the things are coming from notes. All right. And some of the notes are word for word. All right. Because I'm thinking if my dumbass, all right, can understand these things in the way that he is speaking it, all right, then I need to speak these things the same way he spoke them. And sometimes you'll give more worldly examples of what's being said, all right, but you have to be careful because, like I said, someone can hear something that you say and make a whole entire doctrine out of it. That's not to say that sometimes we won't slip of the tongue, all right. So we have to pray, which, hey, it's a slip of the tongue for us, but it's the Lord making us slip. Maybe someone's listening and he needs to throw them off. All right. I don't know. Because they'll be lazy and won't go read and understand what you were trying to say. Or what the Lord is trying to say, what the scriptures are trying to say. Okay. So what's another thing? Okay, we talked about most violent groups list. We talked about, okay, the words. Let's talk about these English words. So what do I mean by you have to go deeper than these surface? Let me check the time really quick. Hold on. Okay. So these English words, man, they don't hold up to uh, what's being conveyed through these scriptures, all right? You have to go deeper than the English. I mean, you can get some understanding, all right? But there is something deeper below the surface, man. This book is written in code because it's not for everyone. That's another misconception, okay? The scriptures are in the whole earth, okay? The truth is in the whole earth, but not everybody knows it. Not everybody understands what's going on in this thing, man, okay? The Lord gives the understanding to who he wants understanding to go to, okay? It's not for everyone. All right, so the point about the English words, let's go here. It's in the book of, it's in the Apocrypha, okay? In the book of Ecclesiasticus, otherwise known as Sirach, right? Those two things, the book of Sirach, the book of Ecclesiasticus are the same thing, okay? The prologue is longer than what I'm going to read here, okay? I'm just going to go straight to the point, all right? Now listen up. It says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them, and not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. All right, so if you read these things, if we were all perfectly versed in Hebrew, okay, the actual Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew, okay, I'm not sure, and I don't. Well, I'm gonna say it, but do your research and see if I'm correct, and I'm gonna have to do it too to make sure I'm correct, so I don't keep repeating this. But I think the Hebrew that's that everybody swears is the real Hebrew. I think that's called the Assyrian Hebrew, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna go check on that now, and you should too. Okay. So when if we were all well versed in the Hebrew, okay, and even though we're not perfectly in the Hebrew right now, all right, he's gonna restore that language to us when he returns. But so that points to also these people say they speak the Hebrew and they have been forever. The Lord said he's not going to return that unto his people until he returns. So how the fuck do they know the language perfectly? All right. Anyway, um, if we spoke these things in Hebrew, we would see how much they agree with each other. Okay, coincide with each other. Okay, but speaking them in this broken Hebrew, because all languages are broken Hebrew, are a form of broken Hebrew. Uh, the meaning gets lost. It gets lost in translation, transliteration. Okay. Uh, so it takes someone that is well with hermeneutics, which is the study and the explaining of Scripture, the meaning of Scripture. Okay, to point you to um, the correct wisdom and knowledge. All right. But if everything was in Hebrew, what did it say right here? It said, it says, but the law it says, and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. So everything would agree. If we knew the Hebrew, we would see that. All right. But since we're receiving it in a broken language, uh, it's going to be the meanings or the understanding of this is going to be broken if you don't have a foundation. All right. If you don't have men guiding you through the spirit and power of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right. That's what that's telling you there. That you have to go deeper than this English or Spanish or whatever you're learning this in. If it's outside of the Hebrew for the Old Testament or the Greek for the New Testament, which some of those words go back to Hebrew because the Lord was Hebrew or is Hebrew. Okay. Unless you go back to that language, your understanding is going to be broken if you just hinge your understanding on what you are reading. Face value. All right. We're going to read that in the Good News Translation. The prologue of the book of Sirach. All right. And again, I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm going to read exactly what I read out of that King James Version. All right. So it says, let me urge you then to read this book carefully and with an open mind. And please be patient in those places where, in spite of all my diligent efforts, I may not have translated some phrases very well. What was originally written in Hebrew does not always have exactly the same sense when it is translated into another language. That is true not only of this book, but even of the law itself, the prophets, and the other books. The translations differ quite a bit from the original. So the end of that said the translations differ quite a bit from the original. That's telling you that what you are reading this in, if you are not in the Hebrew, if you don't understand, if you don't go back and get the etymology of those words in the Hebrew or in the Greek, in the original languages, your understanding is going to be as broken as your understanding in that language. So you have to get a foundation. You have to pray, all right? Pray that the Lord helps you, all right? Pray that he wills you, okay, to get these things and understand them, all right? Pray that he puts the right men in front of you so you can listen and get guidance, man, all right? Pray that when you get the spirit built up in you, when you get that foundation, that you will be able to go into these different translations and tell when they're going off and trying to lead you, trying to throw a bone this way, all right, and take you from the understanding, the true understanding. All right, you have to pray for all these things, and the Lord has to will it. Otherwise, you are going to chase after one of those bones, or 2 or 3 or 10 of those bones, and be fucked up out here, man. You're not going to be able to sort out in your own mind which way you want to go, because the Lord can put a spiritual club on you. You're going to turn so many different ways, but you're not going to be able to turn the right way. For you younger ones, a club used to be a device that you put on a steering wheel that wouldn't allow it to turn, so somebody couldn't take your automobile, all right? So the Lord might put a spiritual club on you, man, to where no matter what, he won't allow you to turn and see the truth. Okay? You won't be able to turn left or right, man, or you'll only be able to turn so much, but you won't be able to turn to the truth. So you have to pray for discernment. There are so many things that we got to pray for down here, man. So many things, all right? Don't get it twisted, though. All right, just because you are still here, the Lord can take you out like that. You got to pray, man. We could die at any second, any time, and none of us are innocent. All right, it doesn't matter if you're a newborn. All right, it doesn't matter if you old as fuck pushing a cane. Somebody think you sweet for your whole life. It don't matter. You are not innocent. We have all walked contrary to the Lord and fell short. All right, so none of us are innocent. All right, so we are looking at death. Okay, we have to pray for life. We have to pray we get put on this path to life, man, because all other paths are certain death. All right, we may not die. If you are, Lord willing, I'm of the remnant. All right, if we are of the remnant, some of us won't die, man. We will be here to witness the great deliverance coming out of America, which is also Babylon the Great, All right, in these scriptures, among other different things. All right, it is also the future site of the lake of fire. Now, that is something that is this place. Okay, if you are in America, you are standing on the future site of the lake of fire, man. Which again, there's no place where a soul burns forever. But that judgment is coming here. This place is gonna get fucked up. It's going to get fucked up, man. Get your eyes off of them phones if you're not if you're not using it in the correct way. All right. Yes, there are bad things on the internet. Okay. But there are things that will help you grow in the spirit, man. There are things that the Lord is trying to show you, whether it be Esau taking something down, examples of them trying to change history, science, all of this, man. Okay. To their benefit, to try to fool you. Okay. But use this technology to grow in spirit, man. All right. The Lord put the internet down here. I don't care what man thinks that he's done it. The Lord did that, man. Everything that's around us, the Lord did it first and foremost. People don't even consider the Lord no more. They do not consider him. He put the internet down here. Use it for something that pleases him, man. Go search these things out. Listen to his men. Man, he got men in Florida, man. You think I want to drive to Florida every day? You think it's possible for me to drive to Florida every day to listen to some truth that I need from Florida that's going to help me in my growth? All right, California, that's going to help me in my growth in the spirit. Do I got to drive there every day? No. The Lord made the internet so I can just click a button and get this knowledge from California, Florida, all around the states, all around the world, as a matter of fact. This truth is coming out. All right. So come out of that pride of whatever your original language is and know that you are not close to, there's some truth in it. I'm not saying that there's nothing in it. You can get some things by listening to it in English. All right. Otherwise, if we seen this in Mandarin, if we seen it in Hebrew, we didn't know what the Paleo Hebrew was before it was explained to us by men. All right. We wouldn't even have paid attention to it. Why are we gonna pick up something that we don't even recognize, man? So you have to recognize what the Lord has done for us down here, what he's put for us down here, and what he's put against us down here. None of these things are small things. The blessings that Esau got is not a small thing. You think that you will be able to come up against Esau with the blessing that he received from the Lord, man? You are not going to be able to do that. The Lord told you to walk a certain way. And he gave this to Esau. He gave this to you, this to Esau. Stay in your lane, man. Being in Esau's lane is what got us fucked up anyway, man. I haven't did the video with this. I have a lot of titles for lessons, man, but things are moving so quickly. Videos are being put up constantly, and I mean constantly. Every second, it seems like a video is going up with more and more knowledge, man. All right. So anyway, what I was going to say is one of my titles was Edom Mode, because no matter how you look at it, that title, EDOMMODE, no matter how you look at that title, if you are outside of this truth, you are in Edom mode, man. No matter how you flip that. He done flipped the switch on you and got you in Edom mode, man. So being in his lane is what got us fucked up in the first place, man. Not in the first place. I'm saying for the most part now. For the most part now is what keeps us there. It's that big ass tree in Ezekiel 31. You living in his branches, under his shadow, man. Because he was good to look at. He was a pleasant tree to look at and to grab on all these different philosophies. because it soothes you and your lifestyle. That's what got you fucked up and was keeping you fucked up. Things are going to happen the way they are supposed to happen. All right. It's not a good feeling to know that, first of all, you have to keep in mind that you may be one of the ones that are fucked up. We ain't going to know. Like I said, we ain't going to know until the end. Okay. But, uh, when you consider your family or your friends or your neighbors, whoever you close to, most of them probably gonna get fucked up, man. 2/3 of Israelites here in America are going to die. That's a fact. All right, that's scriptural. That's biblical. Okay. Humility has to stay here, man. It has to stay with you. All these things that you need to pray for, man. For everything that you know you need, all these weapons, humility, these scriptures, the spirit, men to guide you. Okay, you have to pray for all of these things, man. Understanding, discernment. All right, for the future, we're gonna need to pray for food. All right, clothing, a roof, because the evil one ain't even close to turning all the way up yet, man. Well, I mean, he's close to. What I mean is, he's going to be on a level that we have never seen him before, man. But so is the Lord. That's the thing that pops in my head right as I said that. Okay. But the Lord is going to be on a level for his remnant. All right, actually for himself to do all the things that he said he was going to do. Where do you find the things that he said he was going to do? You find it in these other books. Do you find it in the Emerald Tablets? Do you find it in the Book of Enoch? Do you find it in the Quran? All right. You can read all them books, man, but you waste some fucking time. You're going to find a lot of BS there. You need to be focused in this book, in these scriptures. Okay? All right, so that's it for the words. So that was pointing to going deeper than the surface, okay? You have to go deeper than English or whatever language you speak. Get to the Hebrew, get to the Greek, and get the true understanding. Now is the time, man. I mean, it's always been the time, but the time isn't getting longer. There is a such thing as too late. All right, now what else? Let me get to this warning really quick, and then, Lord willing, we'll see what the intro or what the topic is that we're going to go into, all right? So, another thing that the remnant was told to do, all right, is to give warning, okay? Give warning. I'm going to give, this warning is here in the earth, all right? What he is warning of is here in the earth. So, we are to prophesy this. So, prophecy is to speak beforehand, okay? So, how can we say that this thing is in the earth, but it's a prophecy? All right. So if two things seem to contradict each other in the scriptures, it's your understanding that's missing. All right. It's your understanding that's missing. So let's go look at this. Revelation 13, verses 16 and 17. Okay. It reads, and he causeth all, so that he is the wicked one. The wicked. All right. Esau, Edom. Okay. And it says, and he causeth all. There it is right there. So yes, it is in the earth. But has he caused all yet to receive it? He's going to make this thing mandatory. That's why we can say it is here in the earth, but this prophecy has not yet come to pass. But it is around the corner, man. Everything is headed this way. So, and he causeth all, both small and great. This is Revelation 13, 16, and 17. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. So it doesn't matter what walk of life you are. It doesn't matter what 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 tax bracket you in. Okay, doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, how tall you are, how short you are, how young or old you are. All right, it doesn't matter if you. They call it free. I'll just call it free for the sake of it saying free right here in this scripture. All right, so it doesn't matter if you're free or if you're locked up. All right, uh, you are going to be tested with this thing. Like I said, it's going to be like the scriptures say. It's going to be in the earth. The world is going to be tested with this. Okay. If you are a have not, they're going to tempt you with giving you things. Okay. If you are someone who has a lot, they're going to tempt you with taking things away. Right. And don't get it fucked up. Both are going to be tempted with death. Whether it be by kicking you out of society and you got to face starvation, you got to face your kids starving, your family starving. You have to fend for yourself. You aren't going to have a roof over your head, a vehicle, clothes. All right. Everyone is going to be threatened with that. And they're not going to be empty threats. Okay. You are going to be pushed out of society. All right. And then another way of death, they're just going to straight up come and get you, man. Get you and take you out. As an example of someone defying what they want done. All right. But they are going to test everyone. And that mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, don't take it as literally right hand. All right. One of my teachers researched this more and it came up with your power hand. All right. So that can be your right or left hand. It doesn't mean just in your hand. You can look at your hand from anywhere in your fingertips up to your shoulder. All right. Just don't get this thing inside of you, man. Because this thing is going to be inside of you. It is a micro C hip. Micro, the letter C, the word hip. Put that together. All right. For examples, okay. These are just examples right here. Look up Walletmor, Walletmor. All right. Use discernment, man. You got look at when those videos were put up. Look how far ago, and then realize how fast technology is moving. Another example is Neuralink, or Elon Musk's brain technology. And then you can look up Bill Gates and his medical pass, or I forget what that thing was called, man. I forget. I forget what that's called. I forget what it's called, but it's something that he's working on for you to travel. I can't think of what that is, so I'm not going to speak it. But look on what he's working on. Look on anything that has to do with what he's working on, man. These things are going to come together. All right. Who else is going to get these things? People who want to be on the cutting edge of technology. People who want to keep up with the Joneses. Okay. This thing is already in the earth. What do we mean by that? People already have these things inside of them. They'll probably use that. Well, if you're going to get it and get destroyed, why are these people still living? All right. They're going to come at you with all kinds of bullshit, man. If you get it in, you can take it right out. If you don't want it, you can take it right out. Don't get this thing inside of you, man. Okay? There is no scripture saying that you will be okay if you get this thing inside of you. Anyway, Revelation 13 and 17 now. And that no man might buy or sell, like we spoke on earlier. You're going to be ousted out of society. You're going to be pushed out of society, man. No buying or selling. What you going to do to get your food? Okay? You going to grow it yourself? They're going to come and tear your little growth spot up, man. Then what? And you might be okay. People are going to think, well, I'm not going to get it. But what if they threaten your kids and your parents and your everything? They're going to threaten everything around you, man. You are going to be tempted with this thing. It don't matter where you are and who you are. Verse 17 again, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. That's what this thing represents. You are pledging allegiance to this wicked man. You are pledging allegiance. You are picking a side, man. That's just what it is. You picking a side, man. The line is drawn now. Not you, especially since you hearing this thing. The line is drawn. You go to that side, you pledge allegiance to him. And there ain't no hopping over and hopping back, man. All right. So there are no scriptures saying that if you take this thing, you will be okay. But there is. I'm gonna give you one example of a scripture to the contrary. This is in the very next chapter, Revelation 14 verses 9. I'm going to read that first, but we're going to read 9 and 10. All right. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. So if you take this thing that was mentioned in Revelation 13 and 16, if you cross that line, if you choose that side, if you pledge allegiance, okay, what's going to happen? Revelation 14 and verse 10. The same shall drink the wine of the wrath of God. That still, just that first part of that verse is like, why would you, do you even have to read anymore, man? The same shall drink, not is possible, not maybe, not there's a chance of. It says you will drink. Like you are going, this is what is going to happen. It's a definite. And the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. What is indignation? Righteous anger. Without mixture. You getting straight righteous anger from the Lord, man. You held on to the devil. You pledged allegiance to the devil, so you about to get what the devil gonna get, man. Same judgment. The same shall drink. This is again Revelation 14 and 10. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So while you getting fucked up for taking this mark, not taking heed, all right, since you getting fucked up for being a nation outside of Israel, why is that? Because all nations outside of Israel have had a hand in going overboard with fucking up the Lord's people, man, his chosen. Y'all didn't know. Y'all had no idea, all right, who y'all was fucking with, man. But you about to find out. So while you get messed up, okay, we're going to be getting taken up into them chariots and escorted out of here safely. Lord willing, I'm of that number, right? It always goes back to that. Lord willing, I am of that number, man. Because I don't want to drink the wine of the wrath of God, man. But it doesn't matter what I want. It doesn't matter what you want, right? It's all up to the Lord what he wants to do, all right? So you have to stay humble in this thing. Filter yourself through these scriptures. This is not a game. This ain't a game. These things aren't no fairy tale, man. Yes, fairy tales are wrapped around the truth. They took some things from the truth, all right, and made some stories behind them to throw you off, all right? A bone was chucked out there, and people, hey, man, mad people went and chased after him. They up under that tree, Ezekiel 31, that big, beautiful ass tree with them branches, all them beasts up underneath, all right? People raised their kids in the shadow of that tree. I was one of them kids, all right? And my father, so forth and so on, man, all right? But the Lord is causing us dry bones to stand on their feet. He dressing us again, man. He's covering us up, okay? He breathing order back into us. And people are seeing this and they are shook because this is the truth. All right. He's restoring us. Not that we deserve it, but because he said he would, man. Okay. That is what love is. All right. Both ways. We're reciprocating that love to the best of our ability. No, we cannot be perfect, but that doesn't mean we don't strive for perfection in walking in the same path that our big brother Yahweh Shai walked in, our Father in spirit. Okay. All right. We strive to be like him. All right. That doesn't mean since we can't be perfect, we throw all his statutes and laws away. That doesn't mean we don't look towards his example and try to walk to the best of our ability in that way. All right. We don't go around telling you that the law is dead because we can't be perfect. No. We say this is what you strive for because that's what the Lord told us to do. From the beginning, he knew that we couldn't be perfect. There's only one. Okay? And that was Yahweh Shai. And he even had to learn obedience. But that is something that's not surface. All right? All right? Reincarnation is biblical, just to give a clue. Okay? All right. So, I think I've touched on everything that an intro video, I think. Now, I will say this again. This is very important. None of these things that we go through in this video is something that just came to me, okay? All right. These are other men's foundations that are being built upon. Okay. These are from other men's works, all right, that have read, studied, and have grown in the spirit, man. All right. So again, go to this community tab on this channel and go look for these teachers, man. All right. A lot of these lessons, all of these lessons, I'll tell you this, all of these lessons that we go through, I am learning with you more and more. It's a repetition. It's what's going to make these things. What did it say in, hold on, Revelation 1 and 3. Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. Repetition. That's going to help with this. Keeping these things. All right. So as I am going through these lessons, I am speaking to myself first and foremost. All right. And I'm hoping that it comes across as sincere because it is sincerely true. These things. All right. And I hope, all right, I mean, the Lord's going to do what he wants it to do. But the mission is, or the hope is that whoever needs to hear this is hearing it and getting understanding off of it through listening and reading and going to go search these things, all right, and praying and filtering themselves through the scriptures and repeating these things and growing in spirit, all right? That's what the remnant is going to do. We have no choice but to do these things. It is prophecy that these things will be done by the remnant, all right? And yes, I did start smiling there a little bit, but you always have to come back to being humble because you don't know who you are until the end. If you are the remnant, I mean. All right. But thus far, okay, thus far, I know that I have fallen short of the glory. I have walked contrary. Okay. But I have been blessed to have the men of the Lord put in front of me. I've been blessed enough to follow the Revelation 1 and 3, to read, to study, to search, to call on the right names. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. I learned, just in speaking that, I've learned a little bit of Paleo Hebrew. All right. And I'm not stagnant, trying to stay stagnant or being stagnant in my learning. Yes, those things are good, but we have to grow, man. This is a constant thing. Oh, and I've also been blessed to this point with being in love with this, man. There's nothing like this. All right. And I pray that the Lord keeps His spirit on me. I don't know what would be going on if this didn't happen. All right. But everything happens on time. Everything happens on time. So if you just found these videos, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It could be either sooner or later you're going to make a testimony against yourself by turning against it, or, you know, you could be one of the remnant, man. All right. But everything happens on time, as it should, when it should. So after all that, I think this is going to be the intro to um, Revelation. Yeah, we'll do this. So this is an intro video to Revelation 20. All right. The 1,000 years and the nations. Okay. So we're going to go over Revelation 20. And we're going to speak about the 1,000-year prophecy and turn right to it. So we'll just go into the intro to this for a second, and then Lord willing, we'll come back and start this in the next video. So this is the intro to Revelation 20, the 1,000 years and the nations. All right. So it is important to look at history when it comes to the chapter 20 of Revelation. Revelation 20 does not deal in just one 1,000-year period. All right. It deals with different periods. All right. The first part has to deal with when Israelites reigned the Roman Empire, and then the Holy Roman Empire, and then the Dark Ages, until the Renaissance period, which all spanned 1,000 years. Okay, so we'll go over that. As a matter of fact, yeah, I think we'll do that. Give me a second. All right, give me a second. Let me see. Yeah, we'll go over that. So, yeah, that's what we'll do. All right. Lord willing. I don't know. The Lord is going to have happen whatever's supposed to happen. So, with that, I hope this came across as sincere, and I hope edifying. I hope you got some kind of understanding. Okay, so Kol Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, which Kol Halal means all praise. All right, all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, or all praise to whom the world ignorantly calls God, in the name of whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, among these other names, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right. Double honors to my elders, apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone, where I have learned this truth and where I'm still learning this truth. And also shalom to the remnant. All right. Wherever and whoever you are. All right. So with that being said, we'll see you in the next video, Lord willing. Shalom.